Well, here we are again. Welcome, everybody. Chris Petri. Thanks again so much for coming by, joining along here on my channel. We're all working together. We're getting better with our watercolors each week, week after week, month after month, year after year. We're all making great progress together. This is a fun painting we're going to do. It's actually a composition, a flower composition, floral composition. We took some fabric from the 1960s, a photograph we found online, put it up onto our phone, saved it to our phone, and then we copied it right onto some watercolor paper. And then we have a small, simple palette here with just a few of the colors that we needed for our composition that we're going to do. And the whole reasoning behind this is let's practice our flower shapes, our leaf forms, color mixes, washes, doing a really good, thorough job of getting some really beautiful washes in on our petals of our flowers and so forth. We're doing this all so that when we're painting flowers in a finished painting, let's say we're going to paint a beautiful bouquet of flowers on a table, maybe a little bit of still life, a teacup, some flowers, maybe a few other items on a beautiful still life. If we practice these type compositions with just having fun and doing these once in a while with no pressure, when we get to those beautiful floral paintings that we're going to do, it'll be easier because we've already practiced all these steps of creating stems and leaf forms, all different styles of leaf forms. And this happens to be from the 1960s, a great time in the, I know in the United States, it was a hugely creative time in the United States as far as historical value. There was a lot of just great creative people making all kinds of beautiful artwork and designs, and this comes from a fabric design here. I looked up fabrics. They were creating incredible architecture in the United States in the 60s, creative architecture, all kinds of interesting structures with buildings, cars, vehicles, you name it. It was just a great time, a boom of creativity. Everyone was just feeling the creative excitement of things at the time. And so I wanted to bring that a little bit here too, to this type of video to kind of just recapture that. So let's have fun. Let's get started. We'll do the pencil drawing first. We're just going to use a little bit different. We're going to use a burgundy or brick red style colored pencil. And if you don't have one of those, no problem. You can find them online if you want to. But in the meantime, you can just use a regular pencil and just follow along with a regular office pencil or school style pencil, HB number 2 lead, HB lead pencil. And we're just going to draw in these flower shapes and get started. And then we'll eventually, once we're done with the drawing, we'll fill in our beautiful colors right into this. And we're going to kind of just match up some of these shapes and things like that. We're not following this extremely rigidly or, perfectly. We're just trying to get some of the same ideas here onto this composition as we go. And it's a lot of fun. Don't feel any pressure. Just have a good time with this. Even if you just want to do one or two flower shapes and a few leaf forms, that's fine too. Do whatever you want to do. It's up to you. You're the artist. But this, again, is critical. Good practice that you need so that when you do a little more sophisticated flower arrangements and things like that and floral pictures, paintings, you'll have this practice time that's going to just make it much more easy when you get to maybe a little more difficult painting. Okay? All right. We'll be right back. Hi everyone, Chris Petri here. Again, we're going to have a great time painting. We're going to just start out right away with the video. We did show the finished painting to start with. And this is really practicing our skills for flower painting. So you've seen over the years, those of you that have followed me for many years, I do a lot of flower painting on a continual basis. And if you're brand new here, welcome. Thanks so much for coming by my channel. I know you're really going to enjoy my videos here. We all have a great time. We're enjoying the watercolor journey together. And we're actually just always improving our skills week after week and month after month, as well as year after year. We cover the basic methods and techniques of watercolor every time we make a video so that you're always getting the key critical information you need as a watercolor artist. And that's going to really take your watercolor art to the next level. So many people over the last number of years that I've been on YouTube, over 5 years or so, have been sending me in their paintings via email. They send me the photographs of their finished paintings on email, and I have never seen a painting that does not look really good. I mean, I'm just so thrilled and happy that so many people are having great success following me on my channel. And I saved all my watercolor paintings when I first started many years ago. And most times when I see, or actually all the times that I've seen paintings come in through the email, people that have shared, they're really kind enough to share their paintings with me. I've definitely noticed that they're really advanced. So I know that if you follow my channel, I believe you will have really good success with your paintings. So I just wanted to say you can have confidence, a vote of confidence with my channel. Many people you'll see in all the videos that I create, you'll see all the people in the comment section saying that they're really making great progress with their watercolors. So I want you to have the same thing. So again, if you're just starting here, I'm hoping you're going to subscribe on the right-hand side below. The subscribe button is basically just keeps you in touch with us each week. And as we make new videos, and you can check out what we're doing, it just automatically shows up in your YouTube channel. So if you subscribe, you're not going to have any problems with getting emails or strange text messages or anything like that. It's just strictly YouTube lets you know that I made a new video, and that's it. So I want you to stay in touch and don't lose me. So if you subscribe on the right-hand side below, you won't lose me for sure. And this way you'll keep up to date with what we're doing each week as we go. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil, and I think I'll use a school pencil or an office pencil like this, just a simple number 2 pencil. And what we'll do is we're going to take this photograph I have that I found on the internet, a real simple photograph. I think I typed in 60s fabric. I just typed in that because I know that a lot of this 1960s, there was tons of all kinds of great flower type things with clothing, and it was kind of like a really interesting time in the world in the 1960s, especially in the USA. There was beautiful, lots of incredible designs with architecture and clothing, and you just name it. It was a great creative time in our history, especially in the United States in the 1960s. So that's why I just looked up 1960s fabric, and I found this really interesting photograph. So what we can do is practice our flower drawing and painting skills by just doing this simple rendering of these flowers here in this this photograph that we have. And you don't have to follow it incredibly strictly. Just let's have fun and create these flower shapes in this, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll start off right over here in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'll just try to use everything. Let's do a quick border around our paper. So I'll just do that. I'll do a quick border like so. And then, again, let's start in this bottom corner here. And what I'll notice is right away in the bottom corner there is a small bit of flower there. And then there's another flower petal there. Now I notice here, let's do the center of this flower here, like that. Just a little bit of an irregular round shape like that. And then we'll just go right around like that. And again, I'm not going to get too incredibly worried about exact details. I'm just going to try to have fun with this. So that's what you're going to want to do here. You're not going to try to slavishly follow every exact curve and line as you're painting and drawing. You're just trying to get the overall essence of what we're doing. So there we go. We have the petals of the first flower. Looks fine. And then maybe we have some small round shapes here, just small circles. So let's do that. And then also what I wanted to introduce was this pencil, which has kind of got a dark, almost like a brick red. So if you can imagine if I use this here and I just put a little bit of that, that's like a brick red. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over our pencil line like this with this brick red here. And so that's what we do. We get the pencil line in first, and then we're just going to go over it with a darker press down. If you have one of these pencils, colored pencils are great. You can find them online at the art stores, wherever you do your shopping for your art supplies. They have some really great colored pencils out there you can get. Or you can just leave it the regular lead pencil in this exercise, and then just do it with this pencil first, and that's it. And then then you can go in and do the painting. But I wanted to do this red pencil just to kind of really get the full impact of what this beautiful patterns are here in this fabric that we're recreating. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just retrace my lead pencil lines with that, and then this here is here, and then I can actually just do that, and then there's a circle there and a circle there, and then a line there and a line there and a line here. And then let's look at this here. These are a little more finer details in this first flower. And again, this is going to build our flower experience, so that next time we paint flowers, we're going to have maybe a little bit of an easier time because we've practiced some really nice flower shapes and flower details. So we do that there, and then we come over here and we do this here and this here like that. There's two. So you're kind of seeing the different little flower details I'm doing here on the petals. There's one there, there's one there, and there's one here too, like that. And then over here we have another shape like that. So I'm just going to kind of go along here. You'll watch me do this, and you'll be doing the same thing at home as we go. And again, don't get worried about following every single detail. Maybe you're going to just do a few flowers here and there, and you're not going to put every single flower in flower shape that you see here. You do as much as or as little as you like, but the main thing is let's practice our flowers, our flower shapes, petals, all the beautiful stems and leaves, forms, all of that. I'm going to try this one now here. So this one's a little more long petals like this, and I'm just going to start doing these. Maybe I'll do them like this, sort of get the main angles kind of accurate around the flower itself, and then go in and do the rest, fill in the rest of the petals like this. That's a little bit easier, I think. What do you think? Does that help a little bit? Kind of make like a cross or a star pattern first with just a few of the petals, and then fill in the rest. And it becomes your guide as to how your angles are going to be on your flowers, if you can imagine. And then I lost a little bit of the center of this flower, some of the details in there, but that's okay. Maybe we can just make this a circle like this. See, with artwork, everything is free, fun, enjoyable. You're the artist. If you have an issue where something doesn't come out perfect, you can change it on your own, right on the fly. That's what's great about watercolor. It's a fun medium, but you also have to be flexible. You always have to be flexible with watercolor. If something doesn't go right, that's not a problem. You just kind of learn as you go to do little fix-ups and little changes here and there as you go. To be able to navigate those issues you might have in watercolor, because it's a more challenging and difficult medium because things can go wrong with watercolor. Sometimes, like if you paint oil paintings are easier. You can scrape the oil paint off your canvas and then start again. But with watercolors, you don't have that privilege of doing that, of scraping off oil paint off your canvas. Once you're adding your paint to your watercolor paper, that's it. So that's why people always say that watercolor is the most difficult medium. And so like I'm saying here is what you check it out. You see here, I was trying to make these fine little round circles within the center of this flower here. Kind of looks like a daisy. Then I realized, wow, it got so small, the little small circle shapes, that I lost control of it. So then what I did is I just simply made a solid shape like that with my pencil, and we'll paint over that too. But that's how we can do that. With watercolor, you're free to make changes as you go. That's the fun part of it. It's the free-flowing properties of watercolor. Sometimes you have to go with the flow with watercolors. It's not always going to work out just perfectly like you think it will. So I'll make this other shape there. And again, I'm not trying to maybe copy exactly what I'm seeing with every flower in exact spot. I'm just trying to practice here. Let's get some practice time in doing our flower shapes. So I'll do that, and this one here is like this, and then like that. So I'm just looking at this here, making some shapes like that, like that. And then maybe we'll do this small flower shape here, right alongside here. So what we have here is this, a circle, and then another shape like that, another shape like this, another shape like that, and one more like this. And that looks good. And then there's a small like that. Is this fun? We're practicing our flower shapes, petals of flowers, the leaf forms. Let's try a leaf form over here. So this leaf form comes over this way and kind of curves up this way. Then we get another leaf form at the end like that. Then we come back a little bit here and we see this larger leaf form there. Let's do this one. It's got kind of a nice flow to it, like that. Good. And then this one is over here. Very good. Like that. And then over here. Very nice. Like that. And then there's another leaf or stem over here like so. And another leaf form there. Good. Now we're going to come over here and we'll go this way here. Like that. Very nice. And we're going to go over here like this. Okay, I might need to sharpen my pencil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go find in my studio a pencil sharpener. I just reorganized my whole studio here in New Jersey in the USA. Beautiful Fairlawn, New Jersey. That's my hometown. And what I have to do is find a pencil sharpener. I have probably 3 or 4 of those small ones, like the metal ones and plastic ones. And then I have a couple of ones that you plug in. So, but right now I don't see anything anywhere, so that means I have a problem of finding. So I'm going to stop the tape right now. I'm going to stop the video, come back in just a minute or two. Give me a second. I'm going to sharpen the my pencil here, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're getting started again. I found my pencil sharpener in a box that was stored over on the other side of my studio. And we're going to continue. We'll just actually use this going forward. We did start out with the regular office pencil or school pencil, number 2 HB. But let's just keep going with this. This is fine. This is like a brick red or a burgundy red pencil. And you can find colored pencils, of course, online or in your favorite art store you like to shop at. Okay, so we're already making good progress. And always remember, too, this is only half the fun. We're actually going to paint now on top of these drawings that we're doing. So we're going to have further fun and excitement as we go. Let me get these lines here. And we have more here like this. A couple more like that. Perfect. Okay. Now we will. Let's do another. This flower shape over here coming in from this side. It's kind of pretty high up here in the picture frame, or in the photograph. So let's do this. It's about, if we call this halfway on the photograph on our phone, it's a little bit above halfway, so we'll do that. Halfway's about here, a little bit above halfway is about there. So then we'll do that. We'll make the round shape there, like that. And then we'll just do this. And again, be creative, have fun. Don't feel like you have to do everything perfect or anything like that. Just get it as close as you can to what you see, what you're looking at. And as you do this more and more, you're going to get better and better. That's how drawing skills work. If you practice 10 or 15 minutes every day, you're really going to improve a lot with your drawing. If you only draw once a month, you're not going to make a lot of progress. That's how it goes with drawing. I've learned that myself. At some point when I was years ago, I just told myself I have to practice at least 15 minutes every day of drawing. And I just made it a habit. And if you practice it, actually, if you can believe this, it's really true, and it's a scientific fact. If you do something for 30 days, it becomes a habit, and then you won't ever forget to do it. You'll always just automatically do it. So if for 30 days you practice 15 minutes of drawing each day, or 10 minutes, or even 5 minutes, that act of doing it every day for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, whatever you can find the time to do, after 30 days you won't have to even think about doing it. You'll just automatically be doing it, because you'll always remember that you have to do it, and you won't forget about it. It'll just be part of your routine. So that's definitely a helpful thing to know. It's really important to know that, because that's all you have to do is for 30 days, if you're doing it, then it just becomes a habit for you, and you don't even have to think about it. You'll just wind up doing it. You'll find yourself picking up your papers and your pens and pencils and every day for a couple minutes or so, and that means your drawing skills will excel. Okay, so let's do that one there. So that's that one there, that flower shape there. Let's do another smaller shape here. Let's do this one here. Like that. And then let's do this one up here, this large. These are really 3 beautiful golden colored flowers. Let's make sure we get 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I think that'll really set a really nice pace for the painting. So this one here, this flower here, flower shape, is about right there. So you can kind of see it's about 1/3 over. So if we broke this into thirds and said this is 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, this one lands, the center of the flower lands on the first third, 1/3. So if I go here and say, let's break this down into thirds, 1/3 here, 1/3 here, 1/3 here, 1/3 here, it works out right there. So let's do that. And then we do one like that. One flower petal out this way here. Then this one comes out this way like so. And again, I'm not looking for perfection, just trying to get it close. You can see it's not perfect, but it's kind of pretty good. And we just do this one over here like this, like that. And this one over here like so. There we go. And this one over here. And like that. Good. Very good. And this one over here. And this one there. That one there. that. Okay, now let's come over here. We'll do this one here. And this one here, maybe one more like that. Good. And I think maybe we'll do one over here. That. There we go. And maybe one more over here. Let's do this one here. And then one more here. Very nice. There we go. Then maybe let's do another one here. I'm actually drawing this one here, down here. There we go. And then maybe a small one here. Like that. And I'm just going to fill in a couple smaller flower shapes here and there, just to fill in some of the empty spaces. But I think this is fine. This looks really good. I think we're have plenty of flower shapes now we've just created. Let's take a quick break, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll paint in all of these beautiful flower shapes. And again, we're going to stick with this color pattern here with the oranges and golds and pinks, just to create a really interesting kind of floral pattern. You know, actually it's from the 60s. That's how I found this photograph, by actually looking up 1960s fabrics, and then this way I was able to find this, and we're able to practice our flower drawing skills and painting skills too as well, from this simple bit of fabric. Okay, so let's come right back and we'll start our painting. Okay, hi, we're back, and let's get started with our painting. I just wanted to mention that when we're painting this flower, these flower shapes and these flower patterns with the leaf forms and so forth, I just have a real simple setup here. I have a water container like this, one of those collapsible water containers, and I have a sponge, and this way I can dry off my brush on the sponge. So when I rinse my brush in the water, I take a little bit of water and check off a little bit of water onto the sponge, and then I go in and get my paint. So that's how I keep my brush a little bit drier. Too much water a lot of times with watercolors can really be a problem with your watercolor paintings. And also too, I always mention when I first started watercolor, I remember at some point I was using way too much paint and not enough water. So either too much water or too much paint can both be problems. So you have to find that happy medium of using the right amount of water and the right amount of paint, just right for you as you go. And you'll find that perfect spot as you go. So I'll have my sponge, my water. I'll set it right over here to the side, out of the picture, because we only have so much space. We can't put everything in the picture space here on video. So I'm going to rinse my brush off, and this is a travel brush, number 4, Da Vinci travel brush. You can use any brush you want to. I tend to like these travel brushes; they work great. But you know, use whatever brushes you enjoy using. So first off, let's get this color here. The first flower, let's use the gold color. So that's going to be, I'm going to use a little bit of some yellow ochre and cadmium yellow, like this. And it's kind of like a nice raw sienna, yellow ochre type of yellow. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to paint around, carefully around those small shapes there, because I'm going to go back in and paint them later. And that's all we have to do. I think once we've dipped our brush in the paint, we can pretty much paint this, most of these leaves. I think these are these petals of the flower. I just want to leave the small pods on those white. I want to leave that white paper. I can go back in and paint. We'll paint that light pink, or like a pink color, after we're done painting these gold colors here. So the gold color you can paint over everything. You can paint over the red stems and the leaf forms and petals, but you just don't want to cover that little white bit of I mean, if you go over one of them, no big deal, but it would look better if we can kind of keep those looking really good with some light red color once we get this done. We'll let this dry 100%. And since we're doing these golden colored flowers, let's keep going. Let's go over here and do this one. And I'm resting my hand on my working board. So I have a board that I work on, and then I tape down my watercolor paper to the board. It's a masonite board. I got it at the big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's. You can get them there. You can ask Home Depot or Lowe's to cut you a piece of masonite board. You can buy the whole sheet of masonite and have them cut it down into squares, smaller pieces, whatever shape, size pieces you want that work out for your painting sizes that you like to paint in. So I have multiple sizes of boards, masonite boards that I use, but I have this main one here on my art table, and it just stays on my art table all the time. Never moves. It stays right here on my YouTube workstation. I'm just taking my time here. And you can do different color combinations if you want. You don't necessarily have to do these same colors, or you could try these colors first, and then you can maybe change the color, or you could look up different fabric patterns. You know, it's endless. There's so many different patterns that you could actually look up online and find all kinds of different flower shapes and patterns and colors. This was just one I found looked pretty good, looked really good. So I'm going to find some of the other gold colors. So these here. And again, perfection is not necessary. We're just going to try to look and see how we can get these painted nicely. And again, we're practicing our flower methods and techniques here with these type compositions that we're doing right now, so that when we go in and do a really nice, beautiful flower arrangement, maybe set up on a dining room table with tablecloths and maybe some china and some fruits and vegetables, whatever, we'll already have painted lots of leaf forms and flower shapes and petals, and this way it's a lot easier when we go in and try to create something a little more sophisticated. So let's keep going here. Let's start to work in our kind of our reddish orange. I'll do this, I'll water that down a little bit to make it thinner. And that's all, just to try to keep this a little bit lighter. I don't want to make this too much paint, because then we won't be able to see these lines that we drew in with our pencil. So I think it's going to look good, and it's going to dry lighter. Always remember, watercolor dries lighter. About 50% lighter than when you're actually painting it on the paper. So it's always going to lighten up quite a bit. So you almost always have to go a little bit darker than you're thinking it should look like. And this should lighten up quite a bit when it dries. And we'll keep going here. Do we have any other flower shapes that look like the same color as this? No, I think we're going to kind of stick. Well, I'll tell you what, let's make this one the same color so that we have some similar colors in the painting here. So this here we're going to do with that red, the same red we just used over here. I hope you're having fun so far. And let's see what else. Yeah, I would say maybe this one over here too. Okay, good. Now let's do some pink here, some pinkish color. So that's like a light pink, which is rose madder. I squeezed out some rose madder on my my palette here. I just have a small palette just for now. We're not using a lot of colors, so I can just pick a few colors and put them right in there, and it kind of simplifies things. And then I think over here too, the same thing. This is rose madder over here, which is a light. It's almost like a light version of alizarin crimson. So we're going to get some of those. And that too, this is the same color, the rose madder. And what else do we have? I think we have another. Let's see, do we have, yeah, this one over here. So you can kind of see we're just working our way around. And I'm going back and referencing my photograph that I have on my phone here just to make sure I'm sort of keeping with the same color patterns that are in here. Maybe we can make this a little bit like that. Same thing here. Okay, and then this one here is and as I look over here, this one is like that, and this one over here is like so, like that. And this one is like this. Maybe we'll make this one here. Like that. And this one over here is the orange and red. And I think, as you can see, we've actually completed everything. I think we have it all pretty much exactly the way we actually, the flower shapes that we drew into this rectangle, into our picture frame here, pretty much we copied it exactly as close as we could, but we didn't worry. We didn't get too worried about it being, perfect or anything, but just, generally we tried to, and we took artist liberty and made a few changes here and there. As you can see, we did do a few little changes here and there, so it suits us better if we can change things around a little bit to make it easier for ourselves. And I think I see this here. We can that there, and also here, and then also here too. I forgot to do that. There we go. And I think that's everything. I think that's just perfect. All right, so this was really fun. We kind of keyed in on some really fun flower shapes, and again, this is the 60s style. Great art, great creativity in the 1960s. In the United States, there was so much beautiful architecture again, and beautiful creativity with all kinds of designs like clothing, again, architecture, vehicles. They were creating a lot of really beautiful cars and trucks and all kinds of interesting things in the 60s. It was a very great time in our history, and I'm sure it was everywhere else around the world. I think everyone had a really incredible boom in creativity in the 1960s and so forth. So thanks for coming by and watching. Keep working on your watercolor drawing and painting skills. Try doing some of these. These are so much fun. They're just small compositions you can do. And you could create a whole bunch of these and keep them in like a folder, so you can go out and search all different kinds of patterns of flowers like this. You can fabrics have incredible amounts of actually endless. There's endless flower style fabrics out there from all the years that they've been making fabrics for all kinds of clothing, furniture, all these type of things. You have like an endless amount of really interesting material to draw from and to work from. So absolutely go out there, do some other spin-offs of what I'm doing here. Don't let this be your only time you're going to do this type of exercise, and we'll do more like this too. So I'm going to actually work some more of these into the routine here as we go, just so we're practicing up on our flowers, our leaf forms, our flower shapes, our petals, having fun. This way we're really prepped and ready to go. So when we have a really interesting sophisticated flower scene with maybe a vase of flowers and some still life and fruits, vegetables, and fancy china, whatever it is, something like that, a gorgeous still life, we're ready. We've already practiced our shapes of flowers and the leaf forms and how to paint them and get the really nice color mixes going on. And so glad you joined us here. We're going to be back just in a little while. I'm always here on YouTube for you. We're always here 2-3 times each week. We'll make new videos. So if you subscribe on the right-hand side below, you'll be in touch with us. You'll always be here seeing new videos coming out. And we're always doing flower type paintings here on YouTube, tutorials. So I'm hoping you'll join along with us each week and week after week, month after month, and year after year. Your watercolors are going to get better all the time. Stick with us here. You're at the right place at the right time, and we'll see you soon on the next video. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.